Yeah, hi. So this is a continuation of previous lab. So here what we will discuss, establish a connection between devices of different VLANs using inter-VLAN routing, and we'll use here layer 3 switch, MLS switch, multi-layer switch. So as well as we'll configure DHCP, DNS, DTP, sorry, DTP and VTP configuration. Yesterday we did. So previous lab you can check. So DTP, VTP configuration. That. So now continuation of the lab of. So here we'll give the some IP addresses of these PCs. So this is the VLAN 70 PC 192.168 70.10, and this is a PC, and 192.168.70.1 is the default gateway. Default gateway, it means exit or entry point of different networks. Here we'll give the different IP address for this different PC, and even this PC also in VLAN 70 only. So we'll configure the VLAN 70 of access ports. Then so 192.168.70.20, and we'll configure the default gateway 192.168.70.1, and this is a subnet mask, and this is a default gateway. Close this and try to configure this access switch. So two ports we have, fast Ethernet 0/2 and fast Ethernet 0/3. These are the access ports, and this is a trunk port. Trunk port through DTP we enabled. If you want to check, you can check it. Show interface trunk. So already trunk established, and these many VLANs are configured on that. So config T interface fast Ethernet. So we'll use the range. We'll use the range and fast Ethernet 0/2 to 3. These are the two interfaces. Fast Ethernet 0/2 and 0/3. These are the access port. Switch port, mode, access, and switch port access VLAN 70. So same configuration at all the switches. These are 80 also. You have to do same thing. So likewise. So simply I'll show you again the switch also. So configure it, just enter, enable, and config terminal, and interface range fast Ethernet 0/2 to 3, and switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 80. Can check show VLAN brief. We configure, these are the interfaces 80. So two ports are there. First is 0/2 and 0/3. You can verify. And for access port, show running configuration. You can verify these are the access ports. If you want to check the trunk port, they show interface trunk. Yes, we enable the trunk also with through DTP. These are the VTP client switches. Now configuration of routing. Before that routing, we'll see the routing table is enabled or not. Show running configuration. So here you can check the only interfaces we configured dynamic desirable, but no virtual interfaces. Show IP interface brief. We haven't configured virtual interfaces, SVI. So VLAN 7, VLAN 50, VLAN 60, VLAN 70, and VLAN 80, we have to configure with IP addresses. Those are the virtual interfaces. How we'll configure it? Config T interface VLAN 50 and give the IP address. IP address is 192.168.50.1 and 255.255.255.0. No, it says subnet and exit from here, and VLAN IP interface VLAN 60, and no need to use no shutdown because the virtual interface is already up only. If you are configuring same thing on physical interfaces, you should have to use no shutdown command. If otherwise it won't take those, so no shutdown command we have to use. So IP address for this virtual interface 192.168.168.60.1 and subnet mask 255.255.255.0 and no shutdown, no required. So exit from here, interface VLAN 70 and IP address for that 192.168.70.1 and 255.255.255.0 and no shutdown not required also. And exit from here, and interface VLAN 80 and IP address is here 192.168.80.1 and so 255.255.255.0 is subnet mask and exit from here show IP route. Can check the routing table. We are getting this many routing information. So same thing here we'll get. So enable config. So before that we'll check the routing table. So IP route. So here we are getting that 20 and 10. So we'll check the show IP interface brief. So here we configure two interfaces only. So we'll configure another two 30 and 40 interfaces. Config the interface VLAN 30 and IP address of this interface is 192.168.30.1 and 255.255.255.0. So IP address, we have to use IP address. IP address is 192.168.30.1 and subnet mask 255.255.255.0 and exit from here interface VLAN 40 and IP address is 192.168.40.1 and subnet mask 255.255.255.0 and exit from here and check this up show IP routing information. Now we are getting the 4 routing information. Earlier we have got a 2 routing information 20 and 30. Now we are getting the entire routing information 40. Those are the configured in LAN switches. So access switch 1, access switch 2, access switch 3, access switch 4. These are the VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30, and VLAN 40. So here now we cannot able to communicate. We can communicate only 192.168.10.10. This is the IP address of our LAN, but we cannot able to reach the different location because we don't have the routing information. So here we can check enable show IP route. In this route also we have to enable the routing table already enabled through which command through show running configuration. So just I have enabled through IP route command IP routing. So how will it will be? I am removing for reference part. Now you can check show IP route. The routing table is empty. Here you can verify the empty, no routing. By default, it will be happen in multi-layer switch. For this, if you want to enable routing information, so use this command config the IP route. So here instead of no, use IP route. Now you can check show IP route. So you can check, but no routing information is there, but routing table is enabled. So for that, we are to use directly connected interfaces. So here I'm using because here we cannot do the virtual interfaces because we have only one line connectivity. So we'll use the directly connected interfaces. That is the physical interfaces. So for this physical interface, I'm using the IP address is 11.1.1.1 and this interface the IP address is 11.1.1.2. This is a fast Ethernet 0 by 1 and fast Ethernet 2 part 12.1.1.2 IP address and fast Ethernet 0 by 1. This is the interface of MLS2. The IP address is 12.1.1.1. So we'll configure quickly. Config key. So by default, so I'll show you something. Interface fast Ethernet 0 by 1. This is the interface of this interface. We'll use this IP address. So if you are trying to give IP address, it won't take because we have to use no switch port command. No, before that IP address, if you are giving also no take. If you won't take 11.1.1.2 IP address 255.255.255.0. It won't take invalid, it's showing. So for that, we have to use no switch port command. Use upper column button so you can reach that same configuration 11.1.1.2 and subnet mask. Now it has taken because we enable the no switch port command because of switches act as like L2 port only. Even though the switch is a multi-layer switch is a L3 device, even though the switches will act as like L2 only. So we have to use the no switch port command. We are this command we are enabling it's a L3 port. So it means it is a L3 port. So simple command we enabled. So no switch port command. This is a we are telling like you are the not switch port command. No, not a switch port. So again interface fast Ethernet 0/2 and no switch port command. No switch port. Now give the IP address. IP address is 12.1.1.2 and subnet mask 255.255.255.0 and exit from here. And so now check show IP route. Now we got a routing information. So now timing, close it and we'll configure the MLS2 interface also. Config T interface fast Ethernet 0/1 and IP address is here 11. Sorry, IP address it won't take, right? So for that we have to use no switch port command and IP address is here 12.1.1.1 and 255.255.255.0 no and exit from here. So now we can check show IP route. So we got the routing information through fast Ethernet 0/1. This is the next hop IP address of next hop interface. So this is the exist interface through we can reach the next hop of IP address. If you want to try to ping directly connected interface, transparent switch. Yes, we can able to reach. If something wrong, you cannot able to reach. So meanwhile, you have to check the interface if you are not able to ping. So which configuration you have wrong configuration you did like that. So now configure the this switch interface also. I config T and interface fast Ethernet 0/1 and give the IP address. IP address you don't take. So use no switch port command and IP address is here 11.1.1.1.1 and 255.255.255.0 and exit from here. Show IP route. Now you can check the ping of directly connected interface 11.1.1.1. It's directly connected and two it's next hope of transparent switch. This is interface and try to ping 12.1.1.12.1.1.1.2. This interface are the transparent switch next hope. So this router, this switch don't have that routing information. That is the reason we cannot able to reach. So here, if no reachability because of the reason is this router don't have this routing information and this router also don't have this routing information, this routing entire routing information. And even though this router also, this switch also, this is a multi-layer switch. That is the reason I am calling as a router. Don't confuse it. So this multi-layer switch also don't have this routing information and this routing information. That is the reason we cannot able to ping from this PC to this PC and even though this PC to this PC, no communication happen. So we have to establish a routing. So for that we have a static routing, default routing and dynamic routing. So static routing means we have to statically manually we are configuring each and every routing part. So default route means unknown destination. You can assume we don't know the unknown. These are the IP addresses we don't know. So that time we'll use 0.0.0.0. So 0.0 means it will be broadcast the information again. So IP address in IPv4 we can call it as a broadcasting information. So the 0.0.0 means. So we'll use now default routing. If you want static routing or dynamic routing, you can go through the previous batch videos also. Meanwhile, we discuss later on sessions. So first I'll enable an IP routing on this router MLS2 transparent switch in between switches. IP route. So IP route 0.0.0.0 and 0.0.0.0 and next hop IP address is 11.1.1.1 and next hop IP address for this location 12.1.1.2. So for this switch, we have to enable two IP routes, two default routes, 11.1.1.1.1, and again IP route 12.1. Sorry, before that 0.0.0 and default route. This is a 0.0.0. Subnet mask also default and 12.1.1.1.1. So you can verify show IP route. We have two routings. So first one is this interface through this interface, and second one is through this interface here. So these are the two interfaces. We have a two routing information from this location, this one, and this location, this one. You can verify it. So two routing information statically we configured. So now configure the same thing on MLS1, but next hop IP address is different. So this router interface we have to give. Fast Ethernet 0x1, the IP address we have to give. So IP route 0.0.0 and subnet mask 0.0.0 and 11.1.1.2 its next hop IP address. And before that, we'll use continuous ping on our different location also. We'll use same location also. Definitely, we can able to reach the same location, but different location we cannot able to be. So ping 192.168.10.20, the next PC of mine only, same VLAN as we can able to reach. And if you want to try to ping a different VLAN 20 instead 20.10. So from this PC to this PC, same location, same MLS switch as we can able to reach. So for that, we enable routing table and we configure virtual interfaces, switch virtual interfaces, SVI we configured. So if you are trying to ping 192.168.50.10, this is a PC of different VLANs, different location also. So this PC is trying to ping from this PC to this PC. So no ping is originated, no ping. So because of behind, we haven't enabled on routing on this interface. This router is not having this routing information. So for that, we are enabling now routing information of that. For that, we are enabling IP default route 0.0.0.0 and 0.0.0.0. Use here continuous ping earlier. You can verify also. So 12.1.1.2, it's my next hop IP address. Just hit enter. We using like continuous ping through this command. Just wait. Yes, we can able to reach. So we can able to reach. So missing configuration here, only IP route. Show IP route. So we having routing information, default route. Here we configured, and here also we configured default route. Show IP route. Just use the default route configuration. Definitely you will get the result. So show IP route. So this is what we miss. So thank you. And later on sessions will discuss more on routing information, routing tables and routing protocols, OSPF, EAGRP, RIP, entire routing table we'll discuss later on sessions. Thank you.